The question of where five-star quarterback prospect Dylan Raiola will play college football is a topic of intense discussion among Nebraska fans. There's a strong belief among some fans that Dylan will choose to play for Nebraska, and this video will help explore the topic in depth. Dylan Raiola is a highly rated quarterback prospect, often compared to Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. Dylan is big, fast, and an accurate passer recognized for his exceptional skills. Many Nebraska fans think Dylan would help the Cornhuskers return to prominence as part of a rebuilding effort with national championship aspirations. One reason some fans believe Dylan will play for Nebraska is the family ties he has to the school. His uncle Donovan Raiola is the offensive line coach, and his father Dominic is a former player who also played in the NFL. These family connections are seen by some as strong indicators Dylan will choose to play for the Cornhuskers. Connor Hayden, with his Corn Craze channel on YouTube, is a prominent figure in the Nebraska fan community. Connor recently weighed in on this topic. Initially, he believed there was no chance Dylan would ever play for Nebraska, but Connor changed his mind.
So I made a comment about, a month ago, and I said, you don't need to have hope, or you don't need to hold out hope for this guy, Dylan Raiola. That is Ohio State's quarterback, and as a Nebraska fan, you should treat him as such. And I want to take this second to say, I was wrong. I was wrong that Ohio State had him locked down. I was wrong that I said there was a 0% chance, and I was wrong that I told you not to have hope.
Connor told me personally Dylan is very likely to play for the Cornhuskers, citing family ties and a recent visit by 9 Nebraska coaches to Dylan's home, among other things, as reason for this change in his opinion. While it's understandable why fans hope Dylan will play for Nebraska, it's important to consider reality, common sense, and life experience. Dylan is a highly rated quarterback prospect who is the son of a former NFL star and has NFL caliber talent. He'll want a chance to win a Heisman Trophy, win games, make his own mark in college, secure a high draft pick, and ultimately a multi-million-dollar professional contract. Every move Dylan makes will be focused on those goals. The key consideration for Dylan Raiola's decision to play for Nebraska are threefold. First, improved protection for the quarterback. In 2022, Nebraska's offensive line allowed 3 sacks per game, leading to the starting quarterback, Casey Thompson, being consistently pressured and eventually injured. Casey missed nearly 3 games, and if Dylan is to play for Nebraska, he'll want to see better performance from the offensive line, fewer sacks, and no injuries for the quarterbacks. Second, a scheme that showcases Dylan's skills. Dylan has the ability to run like Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, 2 starting quarterbacks in the 2023 Super Bowl, but his real strength is his accurate arm. For Dylan to choose Nebraska, the team will need to offer him weapons in the form of deep threat wide receivers and a scheme that allows him to throw to them frequently. However, Coach Matt Rule says Nebraska will return to a smash-mouth style of football, which may not be ideal for Dylan's skill set. For Dylan to be interested in Nebraska, the offense will need to be pass-oriented. It's worth consideration that Nebraska has not produced an NFL quarterback of note since Vince Ferragamo, drafted by the Rams in 1977. Third, a winning record. This is not only important for Dylan, but crucial for NFL teams that may consider drafting him. The chart on the screen shows the winning percentage of college teams whose quarterbacks were taken in the last 4 NFL drafts. The data shows for a player drafted in the first round, their college team had a winning record of around 83%. And for Dylan to have a shot at being drafted in the first or second rounds, Nebraska will need to win 9 or 10 games a year, something Nebraska has not achieved in a decade. While the prospect of Dylan Raiola playing for the Nebraska Cornhuskers is exciting, it's important to consider reality. For Dylan to choose Nebraska, he would have to see the university as the best next step in his journey towards a successful NFL career. While family ties and recent events may increase the likelihood of this happening, we must remember Dylan's ultimate goal is to reach the NFL and secure a high draft stock. Dylan's decision to play for Nebraska will depend on an improved offensive line, quarterbacks who remain healthy, and Nebraska must win more games. As a wild card, consider the possibility that any hype about Dylan playing for Nebraska could be a negotiating tactic, ginned up for an audience that does not include fans. Many times people claim to want something that really is not their first choice and use this supposed desire as a way to get more from the business partner they really want to work with. With so many options in front of Dylan and so many dollars on the table down the road, I believe a wise fan will consider the reality of business deals, including NIL money, which may play a more more prominent role than we might not want to believe. And even if Dylan commits to Nebraska, he could change his mind if he finds a better opportunity elsewhere. And for reasons we may never know, agree with, or understand. It's how life goes, and especially the sometimes arbitrary life of teenagers with money, fame, women, and power thrown at them for their ability to play a game. For Dylan to choose Nebraska, the team will need to provide him with the best path to reach his goals, whatever they may be. And it remains to be seen whether this will be the case. Nevertheless, I hope things work out for both Dylan and Nebraska, and I look forward to cheering for Dylan on Saturdays as a Cornhusker in 2024 and beyond. And while I'm not ready to say Dylan will play for Nebraska like my friend Connor Hayden, I am open to the idea, and I'd love to see it. Because for Dylan to come to Nebraska, it will mean the Cornhuskers are already better, winning more games. And that will be good news for all of us.